Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Angela Anderson Show, where we are helping moms live their dream while taking care of their family. I am your host, Angela Anderson. Well, first, let me tell you a little bit about this show and how it came about. This show is a result of a virtual summit that I hosted during the summer of 2022. It was called Get Your Life on Track, Walk in Your Purpose. The focus was on mothers who wanted to identify their purpose and live it fully while taking care of their family. For 14 days, for those of you who attended this summit, I interviewed top influencers and speakers, and they shared information and great tips that assisted mothers in finding their purpose, pursuing their goals, and living their dream. All of this while taking care of their family. So if you haven't noticed, that's kind of like I want to call it a tagline, but my theme. I just want every mom out there to know that you can live your dream while you are taking care of your family. So there was such a popular demand for those types of info shares and things like that. So I created this talk show where I will continue to empower moms out there to see their value, understand their importance, and reclaim their identity. So I'm so excited that you're here with me today. And today I actually have a special guest with me. Her name is Dr. Latazia Stuart. And I am going to show you a video. And this video is just a snapshot of this amazing woman. When we return, she will be on the set with me, Dr. Latazia Stuart.
Dr. Latazia Stuart, or Dr. Taz, is a Christian mom of 3 young children who is passionate about supporting women and couples experiencing infertility and miscarriage. From her personal journey, Dr. Taz has learned how to maximize her faith during challenging life sessions and use her faith in God to build hope and bring joy, while helping those she meets experience peace. Dr. Taz loves the beach and being on the ocean. She is gluten-free and has a guilty sweet tooth for all things with guava, pineapple, or coconut. Dr. Taz is a wife, mom, speaker, author, university dean, consultant, children's ministry leader, and mentor to young business leaders. Despite wearing many hats, her passion is to serve God with all her heart through her service to others. She has island roots from the Bahamas and currently resides in Central Florida with her husband and kids. Dr. Taz's personal mission is to build hope and bring joy.
Dr. Taz.
Hey, Angela, how are you?
I'm so excited that you are here with me. How are you doing today?
I'm so excited to be here with you today.
And I love that bio intro. And like I said, everybody, that's just a little bit of this phenomenal woman that is here with us today, fondly known as Dr. Taz.
Yes, everybody calls me Dr. Taz.
Yep, love it, love it. Listen, so I want to get started with you by you just sharing what your journey, a little bit of how you got here, when you first decided to pursue your dream. So take us on that journey.
Oh, wow. Well, when we think about dreams, right? Like, where does it even begin? Does it begin when we're a kid? Does it begin when we're in high school or when we're in college? Well, if I tell you my initial dream growing up was to be a flight attendant.
Wow.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, that was me. Like I would study every time I would get on a plane, the directions they would give in terms of the exit and the wings, and let's buckle your seatbelt, and I'd study the little guy. It was a dream of my cousin and I when we were younger. Like we just knew everything the flight attendant would say, and so that was what I wanted to do. And I think that part of the reason for that was because I enjoyed traveling. My favorite thing was when the plane took off. Which, let's fast forward to where I am now. I have been traveling quite a bit.
Yes, you have.
And I do so for my professional life and my work, and I do so also for sharing my story and my mission to bring hope to women and couples that are struggling with infertility and pregnancy loss. So when I think about my childhood dream, which was to travel, I am living part of that out through my work life and my ministry that I share right now.
That's awesome. That is wonderful. And so one of the things, Dr. Taz, that I admire most about you is that, through your own infertility, pregnancy loss, this has become your ministry, and let me ask you, and hopefully this isn't too much of a personal question, because I know even from personal experience, pregnancy loss is a very emotional and somewhat confusing time in life. But at what point, when this happened to you, did you decide, you know what, I want to help other women? Was it instantly? Was it during your healing? Was it after your healing? Like, tell us a little bit about that and how that came about.
Yeah. So it's interesting you should say how this is something many of us don't usually talk about, right?
Right.
It is a very sensitive time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll share with you while I was going through my journey, there's a pregnancy loss part of it that the first one most individuals were aware of because I was visibly pregnant.
Mm.
And some individuals were praying that when I become pregnant again, that I would have a safe and enjoyable and beautiful pregnancy, deliver healthy babies. However, what many of them did not realize was that I actually needed them to, first of all, pray for me to even become pregnant. Because I was struggling with infertility silently and in shame. Wow. So that was a part of my personal battles and struggles and challenges that nobody really knew about until last year.
Right.
Last year when I came out with my book. So that's the reason why I advocate for both areas. And when I decided to start sharing it or becoming a ministry, I never planned on it being a ministry. I never even planned on doing speaking engagements per se around this particular topic. But when I came out with my story last year, what I did not realize was how prevalent this issue still is, and how many individuals, especially in Christian and Black communities, are struggling with this silently. It's not an issue that we're talking about very often, but yet, according to the World Health Organization, 1 in 6 persons globally are struggling with infertility.
Wow.
Okay, so there's that. And then according to the Center for Disease Control, 1 in 4 persons here in America actually experience a pregnancy loss or have experienced it.
Wow.
So when I started looking up, doing more research on, why the response was as it was, I came to realize that this is bigger than me, Lord. And I had no idea what I was stepping into when I released my book. I was more or less I know that I need to bring hope to others that were experiencing this. And I get into this in my book with regards to some individuals who are close to me, but I was still holding back and being fully transparent with them about my journey. And God, you got to finish writing this book. You got to get the message out. And so that brings me here.
Yeah. And that takes a lot of courage, to put yourself out there like that. I know personally, speaking for me, I have two boys, and they're 5.5 years apart. So one is 10, he's going to be 11 next month, and the other one is 5, maybe 5.5 or so. And a lot of people just figured, okay, well, she just wanted that gap in between those kids. But what they don't know is I lost 2 pregnancies in between there. I intended to have maybe 2 years apart or 3 years apart. And like you just said, I never really talked about it. Some people know, and then one time someone asked me to share my testimony in church, and I did that so the people in the audience knew. But I was dealing with what you just said, like the maybe shame, embarrassment. Why do you think? Why do we do that, Dr. Taz? Why do we do that?
Oh my goodness, Angela. There's so much to unpack there, really, with that question. There is, let me speak for me to start, right?
Yep.
For me, one of the reasons why I didn't share was because everyone around me was having kids. All of my best friends, they all had children. Each one of my best friends, my girl club, right? And then in my family, other than one aunt, all my aunts and uncles had kids. So I felt like I was the only one. I went to church and everybody had kids. So I even talk about a situation that was at one of the churches that I was attending, my husband and I, when we first got married. It was as if there was a new baby bump or baby announcement every week. And these young ladies, I mean, right now, there were five in particular. They're all now in their senior or starting college years in their life right now. That's how long ago it was.
Wow.
But at that season in my life, it was like, okay, am I next? Am I next?
Right.
But nobody knew that this was something I was dealing with. And I was embarrassed because again, everybody was doing so. And one, I'm supposed to be a Christian. So my God's supposed to be able to help me have a kid. Right. And then two, I'm a Black woman. Like, what Black woman isn't supposed to be able to birth her own kids? So there's that. And, I've done some research on some of this, and there are articles that speak to the fact that back in the day, back in slavery time, there were women who were able to birth kids who were able to be sold for more money than those who did not. So there is some systemic history stuff here as it relates to why some of this is in our mindset.
Right. And that is a lot. And again, that's just a little bit of it. And for me personally, it is embarrassing. And part of me, you start to blame yourself. Like, well, maybe I should have, and then fill in the blank, whether it's something you should have eaten or didn't eat or taken care of yourself or gotten to, you just start thinking all of these things like you did something, or a circumstance or something. And then it's also, the embarrassment is like, you don't want other people to feel bad.
Right.
You don't want to make other people feel uncomfortable, especially the other people who are having kids, and then for yourself, it's like, yeah, wow, my turn is coming. And they don't know that you're suffering in silence. But, through your ministry and even your book, it's okay. It's okay. And what I love is that you have a program, right, on to bring someone to a successful pregnancy and how to deal with the whole issue of infertility. And I know that you have blessed a lot of women in this route, and I just want to applaud you, for that.
All the glory, all the glory, all the glory. Every single miracle, every encounter that I've had on this journey goes to God. Like, folks be like, well, Taz, oh my goodness, you've gotten, this one pregnant. I said, I don't get nobody pregnant around here. Trust me, I have nothing to do with it. I rely solely on the power of the living God I serve above, who helps me to be able to have resources and tools and strategies that he's given to me to help women and couples who are on this journey on how to navigate some of the things that nobody is talking about, and
Mm.
also how to get the mindset when
Yes.
they're going through this journey to be able to get to the place where they're trying to get. But in terms of me being able to help get people pregnant, no, that's not me. But I can tell you, I've just been so grateful to be a part of the journey that some of my clients have taken me on to be able to help them on their journey to leading them to where they're now experiencing the joy of miracles in their arms. And that's the best part of what I've been doing in
That's
this area.
awesome. Dr. Taz says, listen, that had nothing to do with me. I didn't do that part. I love it. But one of the key components that you mentioned just a moment ago, mindset, mindset. And I want you to talk a little bit about that, Dr. Taz. Not that you're going to give your whole program to us, on the air here, but tell us about mindset. Tell us the importance of it, because, and the reason I'm going down this route, um, that is when I say key, like that's where it starts, right? In your thoughts. When we're talking about moms pursuing dreams, getting to their goals, and here in this regard, in terms of infertility and pregnancy loss, because your mind will mess with you. I remember thinking when I got pregnant, like, is this going to be just like the last? Oh, this is going to be, and it's like, you can't stay in that.
You can't.
Yeah.
The mind, you ever may have heard it said the mind is a terrible thing to waste. You've probably heard that expression growing up, right?
Yeah.
But it is also an area where we spend all of our time. We wake up with thoughts in our mind. We go through the day and our thoughts are going. When we're getting ready to go to sleep, there is something that we're thinking about. So this particular area, sometimes we minimize the power that reside up here. We truly do. And we allow situations and life to get into it, along with what we put into, all the things, we put all these things into it. And it sometimes blocks us from being able to experience the glory and the beauty of what God has to manifest through us.
Yes.
Okay. And so for individuals that are on the infertility journey, and it can really apply to any area of life, right? When they are blocked in their mind, it also blocks other things. You may have heard folks say sometimes that stress can sometimes create physiological issues.
Yes.
It does.
It certainly does.
Somebody may say, well, why's my chest hurting so often? What's causing that?
Why is my stomach hurt? Oh my goodness. Yep.
I eat okay. I eat well. I exercise. I do things. But yet they have so much other clutter of things that is happening in their life that's now filtered into their mind, that it's now impacting what's happening in their heart.
Yep.
So again, I like to let folks know you can't minimize the power of the mind and the ability for it to block some things from being able to open and be able to be released, so that you can allow yourself to manifest what's for you.
Awesome. Very well said in that regard. So as a mom, and I watched this video, the bio, you're here, there, everywhere, and you were doing so much for so many people, and being a doctor, PhD, and then just this new ministry, this business that God has blessed you with. What is the challenge that you face, or what are some of the challenges? If you want to just talk about one, I'm sure there are many, but if you want to just talk about one challenge that you face with being a mom and having children, and then having your profession and your business and all of this to take care of.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let me first start by saying, right, when folks see me, oh, Dr. Taz went to Canada. Oh, Dr. Taz in the Bahamas. Oh, Dr. Taz in California. She's, first of all, let me tell you, my kids keep me humble as well as the good Lord I serve about. And that's in the front of it. That's just a title. The first title that I want to be known for is a child of God.
Amen.
That's if God cannot call me his child, and if I can't serve him first in each and everything that I do, that doctor means absolutely nothing.
Wow. Yep.
Nothing.
Yep.
Nothing else matters than the living God first calling me his child. Okay.
Love that.
And so for me, him being able to now use me as his child to help others is truly a humbling experience for me, because it's a space, one, again, that I never expected to be a part of. And it's kind of opened my eyes a little bit to how sometimes we hold on to these areas of our lives that have kept us captive, if you may. I mean, for me, this area kept me captive with shame for a long time, but yet he's able to use our stories and our journeys to reach and help others.
Yes.
So I'm truly humbled by that. As it relates to challenges now that comes to stepping into a space of being used by him, let me tell you, the enemy does not sleep.
Nope.
Sleep before, and he definitely doesn't sleep now.
Yeah.
And when he recognizes that you're being used in a powerful way for God's glory, listen.
Yep.
He throws some stuff in your way. I mean, I got a situation right now that I'm dealing with, and I'm like, oh God, how am I gonna get through this? Like it's a faith journey,
Yes, it is.
Some of the challenges, just in full transparency, is, Lord, am I being obedient to what you want me to do right now? And everything that you'd have me to do, and how would that look? And where do I go next? And I just want to follow your way. So it's staying in tune to what he's saying. And sometimes the challenge is life kind of gets in the way or try to distract you from that. Life just tries to say, well, how are you going to do that? How are you going to get through this situation? How are these bills going to get paid? And for those that are on the fertility journey, they know it's like you're looking at everything that is going to be interfering, or that is interfering with the process of you being able to conceive. Right. And you're trying to figure how and when God is saying, leave it all at my feet. Leave it all at my feet. And then open your hearts and your minds to the resources that he puts in your path to help you navigate the journey.
Love it.
Journey. Now, in this particular space that I'm in coaching and providing support to women and couples that experience infertility and pregnancy loss, one of the hardest things that I've had to deal with, and still do deal with, is when those that have been praying for their miracles experience a loss.
Yeah.
Those are the most heart-wrenching.
I'm sure.
Those are the most heart-wrenching. And I'll share with you how I know this is why God has me in this space. Like, he affirmed it in a way. Just when I had finished my manuscript, there was a former colleague that I had been kind of mentoring and coaching along her pregnancy journey, and it was her miracle. She and we hadn't seen each other for years, and she'd reached out to me because she had known, I had my experience, and I was speaking with her. And again, I still wasn't fully transparent, because I'm like, okay, the book is coming out. She'll learn more now, right?
Right.
Well, the same week that I completed my manuscript, she lost her 18-day-old baby.
Oh, my Lord.
That she went into preterm labor with.
Oh, my Lord.
That experience made me question
Right.
whether this was the space God wanted me to be in.
Right.
And I remember I was speaking to Pastor Myron.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking about, he was giving me some, tips with regards to, publishing my book and things that, to do. And I shared with him what had happened. And in fact, I spoke with him, I think the day after the loss.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember in that conversation, he was saying, well, maybe this is why you have to get the message out.
Right.
And I still to this day look back on that moment in time because I almost didn't release the book. I really was like, I can't do this, God. I can't do this, because how is my message supposed to be here to build hope for others when there was this devastating pain that folks could experience and or are experiencing, and God said, give her the manuscript.
Wow. Wow.
He said, give her the manuscript. And I can share with you that I did. And I also kind of shared with her a little bit about, the title of it. And on the book cover, this is how impactful this is. The book cover, my book title was The Secrets of Faith in Fertility.
Mm-hmm. Hold it up. Hold it up.
Okay. Infertility. And if you look at the word in, she contributed to this being with this, as she calls it, a calabastic effect to this word.
Talk about that.
She was like, when you think of in, and I talk about, being in faith, in fertility, in faith.
Wow. Yes. I just got that. I just got it.
And she was like, you have to bring emphasis to the in, Dr. Taz. You have to bring that to this. And to this day, when I look at this cover and I think how the title on this was impacted by a loss, a painful journey that somebody else was experiencing, I'm like, okay, God, I'm going to just leave this with you. And, with her in particular, I worked with her through her loss. It was one of the most devastating things I think I could experience, standing beside her and her husband at their gravesite. I was in Gainesville, had to drive, to Gainesville for the services. But let me tell you, like I told her in that moment, I said, God has not forgotten you.
Wow.
He has not forgotten you. And I promise you he didn't. Because I can now share with you, despite the struggles that she had to even conceive that child, she has since had a miraculous birth 3 months ago.
Wow.
With a healthy, rambunctious baby boy.
Oh my goodness. Thank God for that. That's the best story.
And I can share with you, having gone with her on this journey the whole way through, I talk about, there's a chapter in my book talking about baby blankets and buying baby blankets. And it's a part of the ministry that I have with the clients that I work with, where, we go through the activity of purchasing, baby items. And one in particular is the baby blanket that, they have, I have, and we pray during our sessions together on that. And having the pleasure of being invited to her home to wrap her son in that baby blanket.
Priceless.
I can't begin to tell you.
Priceless. Wow, Dr. Taz. Where can we find your book, Dr. Taz? Tell us.
Yeah, so it is available on Amazon, but if you're in Florida, it's also available at the Adventist Book and Nutrition Book Center there on 434 in Alpine Springs.
Nice.
Yeah.
And and tell us how we can get in contact with you, Dr. Taz.
Yeah, so individuals can find me on social media. I am at all handles Dr. Taz, just as it is on my name there, spelled DocTortazz, at Facebook and Instagram. And my website as well is Dr. Taz, DocTortazz.com, where individuals can reach out to me and they can schedule. I always have a free initial consultation that individuals can just come in if they just want to talk, and share what they're going through and to see if the services I provide would be a fit for what they are in need of.
Wonderful. Dr. Taz, I'm so, goosebumps, chills, just the story that you shared. And that's just one, I'm sure, of quite a few of these amazing stories where you could just see the hand of God and what you're doing. And if you ever doubt that this is not your journey, this is not the road that you should be on, I want you to reflect, even if you come back to this.
Right, this episode, right?
And replay it.
Yes.
That's just amazing. And it just goes to show, the moms out there, how God wants to use us.
Yeah, absolutely.
In our purpose, in our calling. And this is definitely your calling. As we're wrapping up, Dr. Taz, what is one either success tip or just word of encouragement for the moms out there who are trying to pursue their dream or wondering if they should even set out and do it?
Yeah. One thing I want to tell you is to back away from fear. Step back from fear. Fear is so vicious. Fear is a spirit, I believe, that is not from God. Right. And sometimes we allow fear to come into our mindset in such a way that it holds us again captive.
Yes.
Captive from experiencing what God has for us. Trust me, I've been there. There are moments even now with some things that I'm looking at that, fear starts to creep in. But I have to sometimes serve fear notice and be like, look here, you better back up, because the God I serve, who is in the front of me, he is so much bigger than this stuff you got behind me.
That's right.
Okay. And so I'm stepping forward and I'm watching him just open doors and trusting the process, but step back from the fear. Do not walk towards it.
That's
it's right. There, but do not walk away. Step back.
And being a courageous woman and stepping out, that is something that I help people with, Dr. Taz. For those of you who don't know, I am a life coach for moms. And I truly believe that you can pursue your dream while you are taking care of your family. So if this is something that you want to do and you're just not sure how to get started, I can help you with that. Schedule a free consultation with me. Chatwithcoachangela.com, chatwithcoachangela.com, and we can talk about it. What is it that's holding you back? And we'll get you on the right path.
And you have such a beautiful, you have such a beautiful spirit, Angela, like your smile and your presence that you exude, online everywhere. Yeah. And what you're doing as a mom, it's such a blessing. And the thing is, I think sometimes as moms, we don't realize the impact that we're having on our children. And we take it for granted, but it's the small things that make a difference. In fact, I was just sharing on I chair Dean's Council at my university. And yesterday I actually shared with them a quote by Queen Elizabeth. And she said that it's the small steps, not the giant leaps, that have a lasting impact.
Wow. I love that. Say it again.
It's the small steps and not the giant leaps that have a lasting impact.
I love it.
Sometimes we're thinking it has to be some big grandiose thing that we need to be doing out here. And, we kind of play small to the the little things that we consider to be little things, but God is able to use everything that we do.
Yes.
In the lives of our children. I'm speaking to you. I'm speaking to me too.
Yes, it won't go to waste.
Everything.
Mhm.
And the enemy, again, tries to just plant those seeds and throw these things at us to make us think, oh, that's nothing. Or
Right.
make us question, did that really make a difference? Like, oh, why didn't I do this? Or why didn't I do that? But it's
Right.
the small things.
It's the small
that make
things.
the difference. Yeah, it's the small things.
Dr. Taz, thank you so much for sharing. I so appreciate it. And I so appreciate you being on this show.
I appreciate the opportunity to be with you, Angela. I really appreciate the invitation and pray that those that are watching are truly blessed by the work that you're doing.
Thank you so much. And for those of you out there, if you like what you saw on this show, and if you've been watching all the other episodes, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel at The Angela Anderson Show. So that way you won't forget when it's on. It broadcasts every Wednesday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. You'll get a reminder once you hit the subscribe button. And I'm also on Spotify if you just want the audio version of this. And all you would do is just click the follow button. Once you look me up, again, it's The Angela Anderson Show. And then you'll be reminded once it airs, which is 4 p.m. Eastern Time on Wednesdays. Dr. Taz, thank you once again for coming to this show. And I'm so excited that all of you were here joining in on what we had for you. And until next time, take good care.
Bye.